I'm a notorious war criminal. According to the TRC, am I truly a war criminal? Have I been declared as such by the competent court?
Never.
No. If the TRC was a book to be believed, the Election Commission will not give me accreditation to run. Okay. The Liberian Senate or different tribes, different representations will not elect me on web ballot to represent Liberia in the ECOWAS Parliament as the third deputy speaker. Okay? So the people just making noise. The Honorable Larry Yonkwe, I understand when he's passing now, he passed the other because he can't do what I did. It's shame. Shame. You know.
So, Senator Johnson, why are you moved whenever the name TRC War Crimes Code is?
No, I'm not moved because
most often you talk about it.
You know why I talk about it? No. You have people in the law house who read the law upside down. Do you know the Constitution had never been taught? I'm 67, had never been taught in the Republic. In school, no. So you got more lawmakers who are bobo, who say they go to school but they don't read. Now, first thing, the TRC was never a court. What the TRC did after its establishment was to invite Liberians. I'm one of those that were invited. When I appeared from in the morning to 7:30 in the evening, what happened? They only asked me whatever you will say here will not be used against you in any court of law. Just give your experience about the war. So is it my experience why I fought that you took to convict me and call me a notorious war criminal in your book? When you say a man is a war criminal, it means you have convicted him. So why are you looking for a war crime code now? Look for jailhouse and put me. Because after conviction, sentence. So you can convict us. All those that appear before the TRC, we saw no one that complained that Prince Johnson did this or did that. It's the TRC explaining about people in the book. So is that a court?
Do you feel embarrassed being called war criminal?
Yeah, because you see, you can't destroy people's record. Reputation is hard or something. It's what they use to stigma me. So when I'm running for the presidency, they know I can win. So they use that to rape, they use that to blackmail. So if I can be president, I'm president of my university, I'm here. I'm ambassador for Christ.
But do you have intention of becoming president of this country?
Prince Johnson! Our leader! Prince Johnson! Our leader! Prince Johnson! Our leader!
Why you have intention of becoming president of this country?
Let me tell you this. I ran for president. Had I been the president, I would have done many things unusual. I would politically or legislatively break down the government through decentralization.
But you supported this government.
Listen, I'm coming for that. I would have decentralized political governance constitutionally so that people can elect who govern them in the countries. I would have made good my promise. But people come to power, all government, all candidates come to lie. They use decentralization as a platform. When they get it, they don't because they want to centralize power. If I have been the president, I will focus on education also to make sure that those community colleges that are not standard, that are up to standard, a lot of things will be done, okay? But since I am not, you can't question God. But I'm glad that I'm ambassador of Christ and I own a university, a decent one, not bati chicken hawk.
Over 50 of your colleagues have already signed.
No, listen.
Asking for the
listen,
to be established.
Listen. Those people are on the wrong part of history. The first thing, if there was to be a war crime court, it's not possible in Liberia.
Why?
One key thing, the Rome Statute. I went to Japan with Wale Duna and Laha Lasana. We brought it to Monrovia to have it ratified in 2003. It was after our war. So you cannot, it's not applicable to Liberia. That's one. Two, you have an amnesty law passed by the 51st legislature, granting amnesty to all factions in the republic who fought in the war. So you cannot have war crime code and amnesty in the same country. Amnesty for who? For all those who fought. Then you say war crime code. Why you didn't bring war crime code from Ghana?
So if they could have been established in...
It will not be established, so just leave that. It's a garbage. Don't even worry about that.
But why you feel so bitter about the issues of war crime code? There are many listed names.
No, I'm not bitter. But those who talking about it, they are stupid because they don't have sense. They are stupid because they know there are legal instruments that prevent that from happening. But they turn it upside down. There are legal instruments. They are stupid, including Tewon Gonglo too.
What are some of those?
You know what? You know what? I just told you. There's an amnesty law. Listen. No. We didn't even invite them here, but they came. Leave them from the station that answer to me. Leave it.
Let's leave it.
The first thing, Tewon Gonglo is good. They are stupid. You know what? Those damn lawyers under Tewon Gonglo leadership should have kept mute until World Crime Court comes. When it comes, then we who will be implicated will look for a lawyer among them to represent us. But when you lawyer go to Kakata and endorse World Crime Court, that means you are compromising yourself.
Yeah, Senator, you spoke this morning earlier with one of our sister radio. You said in 2 years you will be offering a bachelor degree at this university.
Not 2 years, no. We are
in
opening.
2 years' time.
No. You didn't understand. You see, you listen, but you don't hear. That's what I say. People read. You know, the Ethiopia, was reading when the Spirit of God led Philip. Go to that Ethiopia, a big man from Ethiopia. He's reading from the book of Isaiah 53. But he doesn't understand. Go and teach him. So Philip went to him. He said, do you understand what you read? And the Ethiopian said, how am I going to understand if you don't interpret to me? So you need interpretation. You are the Ethiopian, Okay. I said we are opening, registration start January. We start with AA and BSc immediately. In 2 years after that, master. You here, he will come. He's the president of the university, Dr. Gonza Mantari. Okay, so I only brought you for the development, but you want top politics, I'll be the Yake Koloba, I will give it to you. Well, when I was in Nigeria, in exile, preparing to come back home, I was contemplating on what to be done. What would be my contribution in the development of post-war Liberia? And so the Lord spoke to me that the war is over. I'm ordaining you to go and preach my word. After that vision, the second vision was seeing myself preaching to a larger crowd. In my vision, I was preaching to a very large crowd. And then when I woke up, the idea came to my mind to build an educational foundation. Okay. After war, people get traumatized. The war drove so many people into exile. Infrastructure broke down. So the way I would give back to my people was to establish the educational foundation and the PYJ Educational Foundation Scholarship Scheme, which is available now. We're sending many students from our school and other places to university. So we did a foundation in Monrovia, and a lot of people say, oh, this man is too discriminative. You see, he's from Nimba. He has neglected the people in Nimba. He built school in Monrovia. He don't care about his own people. But you see Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says, there's a time and a season for everything. What we did was for Monrovia. They didn't know that we got planned for the bigger picture. In Monrovia, we had 2 schools, elementary, junior, and senior high school, that is now overpacked, overcrowded with students, low school fees, qualified teachers. Those students pass the wire and watch.
So this project is a boost for Nimba and the people of Liberia?
A complete boost for Nimba. Charity begins at home. Okay? Nobody in this republic, the 15 political subdivision, nobody, no lawmaker, no presidential candidate has ever done this.
In terms of monetary value,
but we're still building. I say 5.5 million when we are completed, but we're still building.
But you work for $15,000 and you have $5.5 million project.
Go and I will refer you to not only the Apostle Paul who said the Lord shall supply all my needs, but go to Sam Barbecue. We went there, it was a small place. See what it is now. When your heart is captured by God's Spirit, you can do bigger things. This is God's word.
Are you doing some business apart from lawmaking?
I'm a senator, I'm a deputy speaker, and I have the right to get loan. I have properties in Monrovia. So with the property value you had, the bank gave you whatever loan, go to Echo Bank. I've been dealing with Ego Benson 205 since I came here.
With the high school in Morovia, when did you build a high school and when it began to be a high school, by the way?
Well, the Mawa stream is there. You go to church there, so when you go to church, only look there. The Mawa stream, that place is dedicated to my mother, Ma Zwada Yedie, who was killed by the MPFL during the war.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome this evening from my end to the Heat Hour show here on BKS TV. On the Heat Hour, we see dialogue and our confrontation. We see words and not bullets. Today is Monday, the 25th of May, AD 2026, and we'd like to say welcome to all of you. Those of you listening to us via radio, want to say welcome, and those of you too also listening to us via Facebook and YouTube, want to say welcome to the show here. This evening on the Heat Hour, we discuss a couple of issues ranging from politics, health, agriculture, entertainment, and a lot more here. My name is Junior Payne, your regular host of the Heat Hour program here on BKS TV. And in tonight's edition of the show, we'll be discussing trending happenings across Liberia. Now, let's have some conversation here tonight. If you are listening to us and you want to be a part of this conversation we're about to have, the numbers on the screen, you can call us on them and be able to make your input here this evening to the discussion. I have a couple of things that I want to bring to you guys for us to discuss, a couple of them, and I know you will be interested in those discussion here too as well. Now, I want to understand your perspective of politics. When you say politics, what do you mean by politics? When you say you are electing leaders, who are those people are you electing? And then finally, how would you rate this administration, the administration of President Joseph Joman Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Kpankong, as compared to the past administration of former President George Manuia and Vice President Jewel Howard Taylor? We're going to be having this conversation here tonight. I want to hear from you. I want to go into some basic things here tonight. When I say, how would you rate this administration? We're going for basic needs. The basic needs, for example, a civil servant taking paid on time. If yes, you could rate them based on that too as well. We're also going to be asking you the question whether or not Liberia is becoming connected under this administration, or Liberia was connected under the past administration. Connectivity, we're talking about roads, and we go to infrastructure development. Is Liberia developing infrastructure-wise under this administration, or Liberia infrastructure development was a bit different under the past administration? These are conversations that I want us to have here tonight on the show. And let's interact with you too as well. You can call us on +2507954289447 to make your contribution here tonight on the Heat Hour program. Again, my name is Junior Payne, and we will be discussing Liberia here tonight. You know, recently, let's try to bring you some updates across Liberia. I'm hopeful and optimistic that we will be joined by other panelists here tonight on the show. But as you may be aware, or as you are aware, we've been following the UNICO National Convention. Well, that convention, it brought two major events. One of them was the Queen Contest and also the UNICO National Election. Now, with the national election, we have 4 updates on the BKS page, but just to run down through them, we will be giving you updates on that too as well for those of you who've been following. Now, there were 6 positions that candidates were vying for to occupy those 6 positions, ranging from the lowest to the highest. We have the Champlain, we also have the parliamentarian, we also have the treasurer, we have the financial secretary, we have the general secretary, we have the vice president, and then we have the president. Now, to give you the result, we will give you the full result and also announce the winner. Now, for the Champlain, I'm seeing only one person on the list. So apparently this person won by white ballot. Her name is Winnie. Okay, Winnie. Winnie won with 163 votes. And then the parliamentarian election, the result, they had two candidates that were vying for that position too at the level of UNICO. And those two candidates were Honorable Vincent Gonda Mantia. Honorable Vincent Gonda Mantia was going against Mr. Kanu. And then Vincent Gonda won with 216 votes, while Mr. Kanu had 184 votes. And for the treasurer result, you also had two candidates. George Matari was also one of the candidates, and I think Van Gen was also one of the candidates, and George Matari won with 218 votes, while Van Gen also had 124 votes. Now, for the financial secretary, you also had two candidates, Melvin Duo and Isa. Melvin Duo won with 217 votes, while Isa had 209 votes, just a little margin between them. Melvin, want to say congratulations to you. The general secretary position, you have three candidates, Mr. Augustus D. Woya, Mr. Barker, and Mr. Yene. Augustus Woya won with the votes of 213, while Mr. Barker also had 137. Mr. Yene had 92 votes too as well. Now, to the vice presidential result, the vice presidential candidates where we had four candidates. For the four candidates, we had Dr. Nyan Vulule, we also had Mr. Dan, we have Mr. D.K. Wei, one of our own. We also had Mr. Gate. And Dr. Nyan Vulule won with the votes of 209. The closest margin was Mr. Dine. Mr. Dine came 116 votes, followed by Mr. D.K. Wei in the third place with 80 votes, and then followed by Gates with 73 votes too as well. Now, with the presidential result, we had the former vice president who was ascending to the presidency, Madam Nesse Siawe McCabe, and Mr. Vengon, Rick Pan Vengon, and then we also have Mr. Tongo. Now, Madam Nesse Siawe McCabe won with the vote of 267, while Mr. Rick Pan Vengon was the second in the race. He had 129 votes, and Tongo also had 99 votes too as well. So that's the result from the UNICO just ended National Convention election. And we go to updates across the country. Still tense with this politics thing around. Still with it, with politics thing around here. Let's try to bring you this one too as well. The Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, LDA for short, River G County Detachment, has arrested and charged two suspects in connection with the possession of a huge quantity of marijuana in the Sucking Town, River G County. The suspect identified as Tay Tiwe, town chief of the Sucking Town, and Shadrach Tawe were arrested on May 20 of 2026 following an investigation carried out by officers of the LDA River G County Detachment. According to investigation reports, the arrests were made based on physical evidence, intelligence findings, and facts gathered during the operation conducted by the anti-drug enforcement officer. Authorities disclosed that the two men were allegedly found in possession of a huge quantity of marijuana and believed to have been intended for illegal distribution within the county and the surrounding communities. Following their arrest, the suspects were formally charged by the LDA and forwarded to the Gipo Kanwe Magistrates Court for legal proceedings. For more details on this news, you can visit the BKS TV page. We'll also bring you more detail about VIX here too as well on this page. Let's bring you a throwback. In February 2024, the Liberian President Joseph Yoman Boakai made headlines across the country and internationally after announcing a dramatic 40% cut to his presidential salary, a move his office described as a sign of responsible governance and solidarity with the Liberian people. At the time the announcement came amid growing public frustration over huge cost of living, rising food prices, and unemployment and economic hardship facing ordinary Liberians. According to the executive mansion, President Boakai, yearly salary approximately 13,400 will be reduced to 8,000. The decision was praised by citizens who view it as a rare act of sacrifice by a certain African leader. Now, the move also mirrored a previous decision by former President George Weah, who had earlier reduced his own salary by 25% during his administration. But more than 2 years later, many Liberians are now asking tough questions. Was the salary cut fully implemented? Are taxpayers truly seeing the impact of this promise sacrifice, or was it simply a political headline meant to claim public anger? We bring you more details on the story here tonight as the show unfolds as well. The 15th Judicial Circuit Court sentenced Raji drug suspect to 5 years imprisonment. The 15th Judicial Circuit Court in Rivers County has found defendant Gordell Johnson guilty for illegal possession of narcotic substances and sentenced her to 5 years imprisonment at the Fishtown City Correction Palace. The court ruling was handed down following months of legal proceeding after the defendant was arrested by officer of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency Rivers County Detachment on January 15, 2026. According to court's record, defendant Gordell Johnson was apprehended at the Combat Gate Junction in Fishtown while allegedly carrying 140 scripts of tramadol pills believed to have been intended for illegal distribution within the community. Prosecutor told the court that the arrest was made during a routine security operation conducted by officers of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency assigned in Rivers County. The operation reportedly targeted individuals suspected of trafficking and distributing illegal narcotic substance in the area. We bring you more details of this story here too, as well as the show unfolds. Nurse Paula M. Bidell of the John F. Kennedy Medical Center has been temporarily released after her arrest over allegation of spreading false information regarding an Ebola outbreak in Liberia. Bidell was taken into custody on Saturday, May 23, 2026, following public statements she allegedly made about a suspected Ebola case. Claims health authorities insist do not match official reports. Police confirmed her release through her legal team, but emphasized that the investigation remains ongoing as authorities continue to examine the intent and impact of the statement. Officials have not disclosed when the investigation will be concluded. The Ministry of Health has reportedly stated that Liberia currently has no confirmed, probable, or suspected Ebola cases, urging the public to rely on verified health information to avoid panic. Bidell lawyer declined to comment in detail, saying only that she was released pending further legal proceedings. We will also bring you more details about this story here tonight as the show unfolds. Still updates across Liberia. Let's go to the Ministry of Health issue today. The government of Liberia has issued a new travel advisory following concern over Ebola viral disease outbreak in Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. According to the advisory released jointly by the Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, all travelers arriving from or passing through the affected countries will be required to complete surveillance forms and undergo health screening at the entry points, including airports, seaports, and land borders. Health authorities said travelers will receive information on Ebola prevention and urged to report symptoms immediately through health facilities or the toll-free number 4455. The government also emphasized strict infection prevention measures, including hand washing, sanitizing, or avoiding unnecessary physical contact. Well, that's it here this evening on the segment of around Liberia. We will go for a break, and when we come back, we continue with the show here tonight. Still with us.
All the institutions we built dedicated to my mother, the Liberian children, the Nimba children, and so forth.
Let's talk a bit about your scholarship scheme in Liberia. How many students have you provided a scholarship?
We have about 50 right now. Many of them are from our school. Because when you graduate from the PYG Educational Foundation, and you go to school, wherever you want to go to school. And those who are in the school there, who choose to be a member of the choir, they are all on a scholarship. They don't want you saw just now. They are all on a scholarship. Some have graduated. They go to different school, university.
So I guess there will be a first preference given to the citizens of Nimba when this university is open.
Definitely, that's why we put it here. I went to Kepamas. I visited the college. In fact, entering Upper City, I saw so many students with placards. And I discovered they were Nimbanians living in a country with fear because they boyo business. Okay? With fear. So they only offer BSc there. So if I have a school that offer AA and BSc, this kind of beautiful structure, beautiful foreign equipment, everything, qualified professors. In 2 years, will be master. Okay? They will come here. They will all come here.
But wow, do you have a competent librarian to face a chairs until you get imported?
Because I want to make the most modern. Look, the school in Monrovia, we got local armchairs, barely made, but expensive. But the chair we have now from the US, that no college got it here. You can only find similar thing perhaps to Blue Crest. It's about 20, 30 year guarantee. Still.
Okay, let's talk a bit about your county, Nimba, that you happen to be the senator of. Let's talk about a bit about the metal steel money and how properly been used and been managed by the people of Nimba.
The government of Ellen being a crook, we never benefited. This government had never given us our money, they clear it.
Wow.
That shouldn't be. So we need to meet as a caucus, Nimba caucus, Bon County caucus, and Grand Baza caucus. We need to meet the president or do something for the new MDA that is coming so that the money can go straight to the counties. Because we're not benefiting.
But what is the cause? You are not benefiting?
Well, they put the money in escrow account and government goes there. I think you just heard recently how the government, this regime went to the donor funds. They took, you know what I mean? And so if they can do that, what about Nimba money? That's the first place they went to. So we can't get any benefit.
Have the lawmakers of Nimba been able to gather the citizens and disclose the information to them, like telling us right on the TV?
I always say that. Doing preaching on Sunday, I mention it. People play here, they know. They know no county sitting anywhere in the country right now. Because you go to a county city, you come up with programs, then you access on the money through the PPCC, and carry out development in the district. But nothing like that, all is gone.
We've overheard Tabitha Hospital has been looted by the government. Why the administration of Nimba, especially?
Well, the hospital staff didn't tell me. The last time they told me was one CT scan was to be taken away, and the president called me, and I told him, no.
Have you done due diligence since then?
They didn't take it again. But what they did, they allowed one CT scan to be taken away to Phoebe, and they didn't tell me. They had told me we'll stop it. But they took it away, it stayed long. Then when they came to take the second one, that one they said, let me tell the woman. Then the president called me, and then the VP called me, and I said, I think we should take money and buy it. It's about $75,000 or $100,000. That's what we can buy. So we take one from Nimba, this matter, Jackson Doe, to build other hospital. So I said no.
You supported this government with your heart, and this government paving roads.
My man, if we didn't support the government.
What about from here to the referral hospital?
If we did not support this government, Ellen was bent on doing what she wanted. That's the truth. Before the elections, Ellen had secret meeting in her house with all the magistrates from the counties and the commissioners. I brought about this on the air, but nobody knew it, and nobody wanted to take part with me. So I kept quiet, because each person thought it was in their favor. Cummings thought maybe that it was in his interest. Maybe Bronskin thought the same way. Maybe Burkhardt thought the same way. But when she went to the UN after the meeting, and she told the UN that she wanted generational change. That one they came to themselves because we are all old people, right? So that one they realized that they were going to be different person, not us. So when it came, we had a meeting in Ganta. I called a meeting. All the opposition parties, I sponsored the meeting. That the person who will be in the lead, we should support. And our objective was to get UP out. But when Usan and George were in the lead, other group refused to join. They went to join the very UP we sent to kick out the power, boycott. So I kept my promise. You must be a promise keeper. A demonic character will not keep promise.
So how do you feel about working with this government, in this government as well?
It's my making. I gave my support for 6 years, and I'm watching keenly, and I've asked all opposition parties to disregard demonstration, December 1st or whatever. Let us all sit and watch and see how we move toward 2023. The re-election of this government will depend on the dividend of democracy that Nimba County will reap. Because the role here is not us. It was initiated by Ellen. We know that. The Logwato and this one, and the Ganta Yekepa, it was initiated. But what we're doing now is to remind them that what the previous government signed, please live by it. So we didn't sign it, it was signed before. So what we want is prioritize Nimba, relocate the Ganta, the Sanakoli Hospital from the train track, relocate the market or renovate the market in Sanakoli, do the market in Ganta, you know what I mean? These are projects we might benefit from. Don't come to talk about Logwato Road because I did past government.
Before we take leave of you this afternoon, you have contested for presidency 2 times and lost. 2023 is coming, and you might be contesting for senator. So how are we going to compromise that you still have the hope of contesting for presidency?
No, I will go to the Senate. Because you know what? I see this. 2023, it will be Rick.
Rick?
Yes.
What makes you think so?
Prophetically speaking, I'm a man of God. I'm a man of God. It's not something I'm seeing by this government. I say it will be Rick.
By this government.
By this government, to remain in power. Okay? And that will bring the government and the civilians into confrontation. So if I run for president, it is Rick, I will lose both the Senate and the presidency.
So did you see the end of that vision? What will happen if it is rigged?
I see some confusion between civilians and people. I see more demonstration, I see more chaos. I'm a man of God.
The citizens are crying every day, libraries high. Why are all the lawmakers?
If it don't happen, what I tell you, don't believe me.
Why are the policy are put in place to make things good for the citizens who put you in offices?
Well, we do our best, we advise, but you cannot take to the horse to the river and force it to drink. Because if I were president, I would prioritize salaries. Salary put food on the people's table. It made a civil servant to buy things to the market, money goes around. But look how we the senator 4 months, we haven't gotten paid. The first of us kind of saying.
Are you disappointed?
We're going back to Taylor's Day.
Are you disappointed?
I'm supposed to be disappointed when my people are crying. Copper rent in Nimba County is expensive, burger rent high. So if you want us to vote for you, we are prepared. But the first time we cry, then we will continue to cry on the second time. That the cry will continue until 2023. It will make us change our mind because I won't be stupid to come to Nimba and say, let me vote for the simple. They will throw me off. They will throw me off.
So you feel comfortable of being senator?
Yeah, what God said, I will be a man. Because I tell you, there was massive rigging during this going election. My school, look at my children here, we can see. My wife and my children, we went to my school to vote. I didn't get one vote from there. So my wife betrayed me. I betrayed myself.
But did you take an issue to the National Elections Commission?
I care less. I know what happens, so I keep quiet. You see? I mean, that's what happened. It was surprising. It happened 2011, where we went to go vote Coca-Cola factory. All my people, all my supporters. Look, I went to Kakatown. I locked the place up 4 hours. No car coming, no car going. I went to Cotton Tree. I went to King George, Cape Mount. In the night, people waited for my president 12 o'clock in the night. I went to Davidstown. People want real change.
Which
And
is
they,
you.
yes, because I'm a former general, I'm a politician. When I tell you this, I do.
If you are to become president, what could be the difference you're going to make apart from being a senator right now?
I will make one key difference, decentralize the country, let the people elect their official to govern them. Though you are elected democratically, but if you have the dictatorial norm, that means to centralize government, not to decentralize it, then democracy and dictatorship can work together. Because the promise we made to decentralize, it should be done legislatively. I will send a bill to the House and have it done.
Okay. Thank
Leaders were available. Let us come to our churches and deliver. Been at peace for so many years. And we submitted our resolution. That's why you hear me speaking all the time. But I'm not afraid. And besides that, the call for the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code have been based solely and wholly on the recommendations of the TRC recommendations. The recommendations made by the TRC. Now, what are recommendations? First thing, recommendations are not binding. They are not laws, they are binding. So for people to be clamoring that it must be fully implemented, it must be enforced, is a sad mistake. It's speaking of the ignorant. Because recommendations are, one, advice, suggestion, counsel, or opinion. They are not binding. They are subject to legal scrutinization. The person to whom the recommendations are made need to verify whether those recommendations are in conformity with the Constitution or with the very act that established it. So when the calls were on and measures were taken to prevent certain people from taking part in government in 2010, about that time, the certain group of people went to the court. Even Prabhu, who was one of the commissioners, also went to the court. Councillor Vani Sharma represented the United Party and went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled against the recommendations that it was not enforceable because it had too many constitutional breaches. And so, having said this, I'll give you a few copies of the Supreme Court ruling to share among yourselves. It's very comprehensive and it gives you the whole detail. So if, as we all know in this country, that Liberia is a country of law, not men, and that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice. If the Supreme Court rule against recommendation that contain biases, and say it is unconstitutional, it is unenforceable, and you in the House of Elders want to enforce, do something to the contrary, then to me it's a mistake. That's what I've been speaking against. All of the time when you hear me talking against the TRC recommendation, because it's full of flaws. Speaking from the Supreme Court perspective, because with all of us in this place, we have the ruling. So I give you copies for distribution, and that is why I've been speaking. Today, resolutions were brought on the floor. You all were there. It was sent from the lower house. Nimba County that I represent is a county. It's not an individual. So bring the resolution to the county seat or office to either reject putting signature or accept to fix the signature of whoever represents the county. They did not do that. They did it like a conspiratorial maneuvers, which are considered to be. That's why in the present, when all of the counties are signed through their senators, I had to ask the president, where is Nimba? Why you did not bring it to us to accept it by signing or to reject it by not signing? Why did you leave the Nimba County out? In fact, there were 3 committees that are supposed to have reviewed the resolutions from the lower house. The Internal Affairs Committee, of which I am a chair, the Judiciary Committee, and the Security Committee. But when the 3 committees were named by one of the senators to be, when the Internal Affairs Committee was named to be included, the pro-tem Yombi Kanga said, no, it shouldn't be included. But the committee had 9 or 10 members. So the committee is not Prince Johnson. So if I had to recuse myself, because the whole thing had to do with me, then what about the other people that slow and why they couldn't go there? They completely left off the committee that comprised of 9 or 10%. Today again, yesterday, they started signing secretly in the pro-tem office. And they left on Nimba County. That's what I asked, where is Nimba? I demanded the report to be brought to me. And in your presence, the 4 estate I signed. But before fixing my signature, I said, I want to know what happened to the 300 babies from Nimba. Who took them from their mother bosom, brought them to Liberia, Monrovia, and dumped them in a well upside down Duper Road? What happened to our people in the Lutheran Church? About 600 of them. Who entered there and killed them? Who entered the Greystone compound where you got a new American embassy now and slaughtered all of our people? Who laid a blockade to JFK and slaughtered all of our people that were on the beaches there? I want to know. But if you want to deal with the recommendation of the TRC to go after those people, that is wrong because the Supreme Court has ruled. That's what I've been seeing. If you want to bring a war crime court, the best thing to do is to write the United Nations directly so that the UN can send an investigation team to go all over again to the counties to find out information about those people who may have committed heinous crime. But it should not be based on the TRC that is bogus. Mission divided into 2 parts, 4 against 3. That is Prabu, that is Dorope, who was the co-chair of Verdia, that is Reverend Dr. Koma, Sheikh Afoma Kone, against Verdia, John Stewart, and Master Washington. And the 4 wrote their dissenting position to the Liberian Senate that the names were crookedly selected and put for prosecution. And so that could not be implemented by the Ellen Johnson League. The prosecutory part of it could not be implemented because people's names were selected by the Verdia group against the other 4. This is where we are. But if you want to deal with the war crime court issue and by using the recommendations, and that is the best way to go, I would say no. But since all of the countries have signed, let will go ahead and sign. After signing the document today, we are watching to see what will be the outcome. I'm hearing that President Boyka would like to publish an executive order to establish the court and to go after us. We are also here to see that. This is a national security issue, and we want peace in our country to be a matter of continuity. And what is not done properly is not done right at all. That's why I call you.
Well, Senator Manis Yanti from OKFN. Well, basically, the last time we checked, there was this resolution that came from the House of Representatives, make its way to the Senate, and now that the Senate said they are sending this document back to the House of Representatives for concurrence, wherein they've made an amendment. Is it something that probably the Senate is actually proceeding error? And then another thing is that now that you've explained all of this and you went directly to the presiding desk and faced your senator saying, yes, I agree to whatever decision that was reached, why sign onto the document wherein that maybe probably if you were to lay all of this basic, that stating now that maybe perhaps you could not be in support of the establishment of said code in Liberia?
You see, all of my colleagues, this thing is all of my colleagues signed. In pro-tem office or somewhere behind my back. They didn't present it to me. They make me look so funny and so ugly in the eyes of the Liberian people through the electronic media. So I just signed to let people know I'm not afraid. If you really check my background from the war and as I came to Monrovia, from the bush and came to Monrovia, and if you follow my trace, when I pass, ask people. That's why it requires investigation by a neutral investigation team from the United Nations, not on the basis of the Verdia TRC. So if I don't sign, say, oh, the man's afraid. I have signed. So let justice be done, even to the very document. Justice was not done. This is not the first time the Senate ever received such a communication. The President George Weah, former president, sent a letter to the Senate to advise the executive, TRC. And the very Judiciary Committee came up with a 20-something or 60-something page document or 21 page or something, telling the President Weah that there were violations of the Constitution by the TRC recommendation. The same committee, the Judiciary Committee, Security Committee, they wrote. So they have come again to do a U-turn. So it's up to them. We are watching to see. We want justice for everybody. Justice for the accused, though I've never been accused. The TRC invited me, invited other people, and said, give your traumatic story, and whatever you will say before the court, as your experience during the war, without being used against you in a court of law. So is that my explanation that you taken to convict me and putting my name in the report? So be it. But we got to do justice to everybody, to the would-be victim, I don't know where they are, and to the would-be perpetrator. And it's a big job. It's not a small thing. The sponsor of the war, the country that provided the training bases, and those who purchased the weapons and all of those things, the very ECOMO that came to help us to maintain the peace, to restore peace. The peace mandate was automatically changed after 3-4 months to peace enforcer, thereby making them combatant to chase Taylor in all of the country they were entrenched in. So the Duru boy that were dropping cluster bombs and the artillery that was being launched to get Taylor out, sometimes missed target, whatever the situation, we are yet to see what will be the outcome.
Obadiah Johnson from Front Page African newspaper. Senator, your political party, the MDR, in which you serve as the chairman of its governing council, heavily supported the Unity Party, the government of President Joseph Yuma Boyka. Affixing your signature to this document implies that you are willing to submit yourself to a war crime court trial. Are you willing to go to trial and to also call
I just told you,
especially those who provide you the arms ammunition?
Yes, I just told you, we support the War Economic Crimes Code, provided if there will be a direct communication to the United Nations to establish the code, first of all, by sending the investigation team to restart. But it should not be based on the TRC recommendation that are condemned by the Supreme Court of our country. You understand me?
Follow up, are you willing to call big names who provide you arms and ammunition?
Well, the investigation will come up with it. The investigation will come up with it. And the local defense force and all who support it, all will come. We're not afraid of that.
Okay. So, Senator, good afternoon. My name is Haji Masale. I report for Spoon. With you affixing your signature means that you agreed for the establishment of the code. What level of cooperation will you give those judges or the court in terms of calling names?
I agree for
you continue to lay some historical facts that are of stay allegation about the Lutheran Church massacre, the Duboro situation. Are you willing to call names and those behind all this?
The investigation or the trial will bring all those things up. What I'm saying to you, and I continue to say, and I stick to my word, my position, is that I sign endorsing War Economic Crime Code. It will depend on whether you want to start afresh by bringing the UN to do a new investigation, or whether you go by the TRC bogus report that been condemned by the Supreme Court, because we will have lawyers. We will have international and local lawyers. And if you're dealing with us on the basis of the TRC recommendation, then the Supreme Court comes in, because the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice. Our lawyer could proceed to the court and put in adjournment, because the recommendation you want to implement against us by bringing the court is condemned. You know what I'm saying? It's condemned.
Yeah, Father Senator, do you somehow feel embarrassed or disappointed, betrayed by your colleagues or the Rhodia establishment as per the action taken today?
No, I don't think I would say they betrayed. They only gave reason why many times since I've been here, I'm the longest serving senator, why 15 have gone for election and 2 came back, 15 have gone for election, only 4 came back. That's some of the reasons. Because they dealt with it before. They disposed of it before when they made a report to Weah. Not because Joseph Boyka, the president, has sent something to through the speaker whose wife is Boyka's niece. You see what I'm saying? And so they are doing a new thing again. But what they're doing is not different from what they did before. So I won't say betray. It's just one of those things that caused someone to be voted out.
So did you manage to establish why the resolution was hastily passed by your colleagues?
The resolution was hastily passed. That's what they adopted to do. I can't question why they did it so quickly. The good thing is that there is a legal ground that I'm speaking from. If you want to bring the War Crime Code on the basis of the recommendations of the TRC, then you look at what is the paper I gave you, Supreme Court, not from me. The Supreme Court condemned the recommendations. They have so many constitutional breaches.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court said it violates the rights of those accused in the TRC report. And they also said the TRC got no power to bar anybody for 30 years because it was never a court. The Supreme Court talked about Article 14 criminal TRC book that the TRC immediately said that the names of people to be prosecuted were not exhausted. If they were not exhausted, why did you leave for so many thousand and then put 3 people for prosecution? If the labor were not exhausted. So it's selective justice. So in conclusion, you're calling for your peace through the establishment by means of based upon the Booker report from the TRC, if that will bring peace, Hassan, go and bring your court.
Just to clarify this, you are on record by stating that ex-generals will protect you as it relates to the establishment of the War Crimes Court.
Have I said that?
You have been quoted by some media institutions. So can you clarify?
Have you heard my voice? Have you heard my voice calling upon ex-combatants?
Ex-generals to stand by you.
Have you heard me calling for ex-combatants to stand by me? To do what?
Thank you.
To do what? Look, let me tell you something. I am a brave soldier. I came to liberate my people. Nimba was declared enemy of the state. So if I came to free my people in Liberia generally, and I went outside of my route of engagement and started killing people and raping, though I never raped in my life, if it is proven, after fighting for only 9 months, you know that 14 years of war, I only fought for 9 months, I left the country. The war that took place when I left the country, the beer factory was intact. Hotel Africa was intact. The Hydro was intact. LEC was intact. Juga Party was intact. Bush Island was declared safe haven. Broad Street was having live activities when I left this country. The wars after me, after I had left, destroyed these things. So if I came to free my people and I went outside of the route of engagement, outside the Geneva Convention and war principles, if they are proven, so be it.
Did you receive an endorsement from the people of Nimba before putting your pen to paper regarding this agreement?
Well, I represent the people. I have told them, they know what I did, they know, because they themselves are grieving over the children that were destroyed. They are grieving over the Lutheran child massacre. But because the amnesty law, Nimba cannot do anything. So they prefer to go back to their grandchildren, to remarry, to live together as Dodi, I brother-in-law. You understand me? So whatever will bring peace to the people of Nimba, it's what we've done. They know what's happening. They know the entire Senate conspired against me. But those who even signed the paper, they cannot be free from academic crime. A lot of them inside for war. Because you fought war doesn't mean you're criminal. Because you fought the war doesn't mean you're criminal. Because I know the group that here, there were 2 groups that came here seeking for war crime code. Okay? The so-called ambassador Alash, that white woman, she didn't come and represent America. She represents an NGO group called Global Crime. That's the Hassan Benito group. These are the people who lie on Jibril massacre. They grabbed me in Finland. They came to Liberia and got false witnesses to go to Finland to bear false witnesses against the men in court. They were convicted based upon the first false witnesses for 30 years or so. But when they won the Supreme Court freed them on lack of evidence. They didn't stop. They went to Agnes Taylor in London, grabbed a woman, and jailed her through the police. The same group. After 1 year or so, she free. Then they didn't stop. Then they went to Brussels, Martina Johnson. They lied on her. After 2 years, they couldn't collect information to prove the case. She got free too. That the group coming here want to establish War Crime Court. Will the court be higher than the Supreme Court? What will you do with the amnesty law? They were reading the resolution talking about RCC. RCC was ratified after our war. We went to London, Japan. That means Laha Lasana and Wale Duna. We went to Japan. And the meeting was there for about 2 weeks. We came back with a letter, with the document, and domestically ratified here. So Verdier then sent a paper, their report to the RCC for our prosecution. And RCC said, no, we got nothing on our docket regarding Liberia because the war ended. They ratified the RCC document after the war. So we can't retrogress. So it's not retroactive. So that's the situation. So the whole thing is with the Senate. They have already signed, we signed. They go to the president. Let him do what you want to do.
Well, thank you so much.